If you get this task done, whether you do it yourself or you hire somebody, you will actually save yourself a tremendous amount of money in the future.
Right.
And you'll get it out of the way, which will allow you to focus on revenue generating exercises to make more money.
I think one thing to start is make a list of all aspects of your business that require referencing paperwork or other professionals that handle certain aspects of your business. Like you had listed off. Okay, so the insurance policies, okay, tax returns, legal documents, banking information.
Hello, this is Trevor. I'm not simple, but I am sensible, and I'm hanging out with the simply sensible Linda Ray. And this is Simple Sense for small business. Linda Ray, take it away. What a day.
Hey. So we're talking today about paperwork. I know. You're like, okay, no. Don't want to talk about this. I'm going to click off this right now.
Nobody ever does.
Nobody wants to talk about this. You taking the time to listen to this and applying some of the basic principles
make your life so much better.
Will save you so much time. Why do you want to redo stuff or wait to then fix something if you had taken the time in the beginning? This channel and this content, we state in the About section that these are mistakes we've made, so you don't have to. And that's why we share this with you.
Well, speak for yourself. When it comes to messy paperwork, I haven't necessarily made those mistakes.
No, but you've seen them to know the impact.
Oh, heck to the yeah.
Yes. So, and part of this channel has been where it coincides with our EIDL consulting, because that is where some of the insights have been glaringly painful of how business owners conduct certain aspects of their business that has
ignore
been
this aspect.
Yeah, and that's been a detriment to progress and success. So with that, since we both have had over 30 years of filling out applications and forms, etc., why don't you start with one of the basic number one to do or not to do?
To do is real simple. You need to dedicate a day or 2 or 3 and invest the time and organize all of your documents. And once you've done that, it's over. Then it's just a matter of maintenance. Then it's a matter of, oh, look, once in a while I have to check the oil in the car. It's maintenance. That's all it is.
Well, you're referencing, check your documents as if, like an event of applying for a business loan, which we speak ad nauseum. But we're also
not a business loan.
No, but as an event, but there is maintenance. But I think for me, where I'm trying to go with this is whether you're starting a new company or you're bringing on a new partner.
Or you've been growing your company. You just get piles of paperwork. And the thing is, the event that you're talking about, you never know when the event is going to happen. Such as a meeting I had with a client yesterday who needs to dissolve a membership percentage person in one of the businesses he owns and buy that person out, and the documents are a complete mess.
Right. When I first started out with the financial planning chapter of my insurance life, there were life events. People bought a house, they had a baby, they retired, they had another baby, or whatever, not in that order. There were certain considerations of certain aspects of one's life that you have to take into account, and part of that is paperwork.
So this is where I diverge massively from your statement just now. To put it in an analogy, what I'm saying is when your trash can is full, take the garbage out. Don't let the garbage just build up until an event happens where all of a sudden your friends have called up and said, hey, we just picked up some nice coffee cake. We're going to come over and hang out, and let's hang out in the back deck and have some coffee. And all of a sudden you realize you got 3 weeks of garbage that are stinking up your house that you never took out. And now you got to clean the garbage. That's what I mean. The events may come up and you don't know when they're coming up. Why don't you just spend some time and get out of the way? Here's the thing. I believe so many of you are just terrified or bored to tears, one or both, of the aspect of spending considerable hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, working on organizing all your documents.
There's an overwhelm that can take over, but that's where you have to chunk things down into smaller tasks. Like, for instance, you set up a calendar appointment, and I know it's easy to break the calendar appointment with yourself, but you have to chunk it down. So first you set up an appointment, and maybe with yourself, and maybe it's only an hour, but then you have a list of things, and maybe you start out with 3 to 5 things. All right, maybe you have to find the paperwork. And if you can't find the paperwork, then you have to call the insurance agency to get the copy of the policy.
Or the accountant.
Or the accountant of the tax return.
Or the lawyer to get a copy of the membership.
I think you have to start with chunking it into steps and then create a task for yourself and then create the appointment to execute said tasks, right? I will say that has been a bit of a strategy for me to help, and also in your calendar, you have reminders. So don't forget to enable your reminders to do this.
You've settled into a routine of doing bank reconciliations, which I know for quite a while you were famous for putting it off for many months. Because who the heck wants to do bank reconciliations? Boring.
Right. Then you have to go through 6 months of bank statements. What happens when you have 5 bank accounts? That's exhausting.
And now you've settled into a more task-oriented routine. The same client I met with yesterday made this statement about receipts and how he just stores them. They're in piles all over his, and then he winds up throwing them in the garbage instead of sorting them out. There's the long-running joke among CPAs and accountants and tax professionals how people will show up at tax time
with a
plastic bag or a shoebox filled with receipts. It's not funny, actually, because all you really need to do is take out the garbage. That's all it is. It's a simple task. Set yourself some kind of functionality about it and also, deal with it.
If he doesn't want to deal with the receipts, then every week he should be putting the receipts in some kind of financial software. I know we've done another podcast on this topic, but this is a little bit different. This is more of the getting out of your own way to be more organized and
not messy. This morning I looked at someone's banking documents, and what I was seeing was, first of all, I'm looking at a voided check that doesn't even have the name of the business on the check.
Right.
All right, so maybe you don't write checks, but that's no excuse, by the way. Then I get a document from the bank with what's called an account summary that has the account, the routing number, the account number, but it has an address that does not match the tax return, or in fact does not even match the current bank statement from that same bank for that same bank account.
Right.
And by the way, that address also does not match the tax return. So these are simple things that in the event that you mentioned, an event, whether it's you have to meet with your financial planner or your attorney or an accountant or the IRS or file for bankruptcy or request financing, you're going to find yourself scrambling and losing your mind and having to think of all these little moving parts. Whereas if you deal with it on a regular basis, get it out of the way.
One of the things, we see this happen every single day. So it's easy for us to witness how it could be done differently. But let's just pump the brakes here and maybe discuss what are the reasons why the business owner may hesitate or procrastinate or delay or ignore. Let's talk about that, because that's where it starts or stops.
It's like 9th grade algebra. People go into math class. Oh my God, I hate math. But you know what? You have to take the class. And if you're there, why not just try to do your best and maybe learn something? And if you think you're never going to use it, you're making a prejudgment. And that, I think, is part of what people bring to this paperwork organizing. They think, oh, I'll get to it later. Oh, I don't need to do this because I'm never going to need to have this paperwork.
That's true.
And it's just like 9th grade algebra. Oh, I'll never use this. By the way, I've used algebra pretty much my whole professional career. Just saying.
The first step is, number one, if you own a business, and let's just define your business, you have people paying you money to do something for them. You own a business. That means you cannot excuse away certain responsibilities, period, full stop. You can't claim ignorance as a reason why something isn't getting done. I cannot tell you how many times we hear as a task when automation comes into play with the business loan process for us, and they're like, I don't know how to use a computer. And that's all they say, as if, okay, and one client in particular, though, he was like, all right, like, I'm going to recruit my friend to come over and at least help me because I got to do this right now.
So that's a really good idea right there. And so can we launch into wealth and HELLNESS section? How about this? Wealth and HELLNESS. You don't want messy paperwork. You don't want to deal with the paperwork. Okay, you've decided that you're going to listen to Linda Ray and Trevor's advice and you're going to get your paperwork organized. But you don't want to do it yourself. You know what you do? Hire somebody to do it. Do you hire anybody to mow your lawn? Do you hire anybody for any other facet of your business or your house or your life?
Hold on, since this is wealth and HELLNESS, now we're going to go into the other side where someone's saying, yeah, but I don't have the money to hire them. I've heard that a lot. And I said, if you don't have the money to hire, that means you have the time to execute.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's not going to be an excuse.
One person, she was like, listen, I really don't know how to do this, so I want to hire you, but I don't have any money. I said, well, then you have time. Because if you don't have the money because you're not doing certain parts of your business to generate income, then you have the time to do it yourself until you can figure out how to make the money to then hire someone else to do something you don't like to
And the
do.
other side of this, where your wealth and HELLNESS comes into play, is real simple. If you get this task done, whether you do it yourself or you hire somebody, you will actually save yourself a tremendous amount of money in the future.
Right.
And you'll get it out of the way, which will allow you to focus on revenue generating exercises to make more money.
There's going to be the mindset of that someone doesn't have the money to hire, but they also don't have the time either, because that's okay. So you don't think you have the time,
but you really do.
But you just haven't really focused on a couple of hours here and there, whether it's an hour a day or a couple hours every week, that
15 minutes
that you're doing something else that isn't really productive in the sense of what pain you're experiencing with the business, to at least start a procedure for yourself to get organized, to not be messy with your
or
paperwork.
being on the phone with your best friend complaining about all the things you got to do for 15 minutes. I see a bacon and egg and cheese sandwich in my near future. That gal over here next to me is Linda Ray. I know you can't see her, but she is very pretty. One of these days we'll do these on video, but for the moment it's a podcast, and my name is Trevor. We're Aurora Consulting, and we want to help you all navigate the simple, sensible things about how you can maintain, grow your business, and become more profitable and make your experience more pleasurable.
There you go. Have a great day. See you next time.